How did you get revenge on your abusive family member? Growing up, silence was our highest priority. You didn't talk back, you didn't cry, you didn't breathe too loud, not around him. My father, Todd, was a monster, and every corner echoed with what he did to us. My mom lasted the longest. I was 13 when she left. Everyone thinks she ran off, but I know better. I remember the look in his eyes the night we never saw her again, the quiet in the house after, the dread. No one said anything, but everyone in the house knew what he did. Ellie, my little sister, was born a year before mom disappeared. She never knew freedom. She only knew fear, but I turned 18 last week, and that changed everything. It started on my birthday. I was sitting at the dinner table alone, eating cold, leftover pizza. Todd had fallen asleep on the couch while watching TV, with an empty bottle of Jack Daniels on the coffee table beside him. Ellie came downstairs with an ear-to-ear grin and handed me a card. It was a birthday card with 2 stick figures. Me and her. It was decorated with assorted colors and glitter. She excitedly exclaimed, "Happy birthday." I smiled at first, but then my heart dropped. I heard it. That grunt. The grunt he does when he's disturbed. He was awake and he was angry. I could barely turn my head to face him as he stomped towards us. Ellie shrunk in fear, and before I could stand up, he backhanded her so hard she slammed into the floor. "Ellie," I screamed, kneeling down to check on her. Before I knew it, he grabbed my hair and pulled me up to his level. "Disturb me one more time and I'll give you something to scream about," he said before letting go. I quickly ushered Ellie upstairs and made sure she was okay. I knew then it was him or us. Over the next 4 days, I started planning. Our house had a basement, with steps that had visible screws. One night, I quietly went down and unscrewed it just enough so it could handle mine and Ellie's weight, but not his. I started stashing Ellie's things in a gym bag under my bed. Her favorite book, socks, toothbrush. I told her we were going somewhere better soon. She asked if he was coming. I told her no. Then Friday night came. He was already in one of his moods when I got home from my shift at the diner. He yelled at me for being late and demanded dinner. I didn't answer and quickly whispered in Ellie's ear to hide in the basement. When I didn't answer, he stood up. That's when I spoke. "Make it yourself," I said, shaking but trying to stay calm. He froze. "What'd you say?" "You heard me," I responded. He slowly approached me, staring me down. "Brat's like you need to be taught a lesson." I saw him raise his hand and I shoved him with all my might. He stumbled backwards, falling against the couch. I could tell just by looking at him, he saw red. Just as I wanted, I sprinted to the basement, quickly running down the stairs. I found Ellie crying in the corner and went to reassure her. Just as I had expected, he came marching down the stairs and the steps collapsed under him. I covered Ellie's eyes as he crashed. Once the thud stopped, I walked up and stood over him. He was twisted up like a pretzel, groaning in pain. His leg was definitely broken. Maybe his back, too. His eyes widened when he saw me standing over him. "You did this," he growled, spit flying. "Help me, you brat, I'm your father." He screamed and cursed at me while I slowly screwed the steps back on. Then I turned to him and said, "Sure." And did exactly what you shouldn't do to an injured person. I lifted him and dragged him all the way up the stairs, deliberately worsening all his injuries. He yelled and screamed in pain as I purposefully let go of him a few times, pretending to have lost my grip. Once we got to the top, I watched in disgust as he pathetically crawled to his bottle of alcohol, taking a few gulps before calling an ambulance. When they arrived, I feigned innocence, said he slipped down the stairs and begged them to help. Was it necessary? No, but did it anger him more? Yes. I stayed home while the ambulance took him, then the next day we got a call. His left shoulder was dislocated, his right leg was fractured, and best of all, his spine was completely messed up, probably from all the dragging I did, which meant he was paralyzed. Fully, from the neck down. But physical pain was not the only thing I was set out to do. I wanted to drive him insane, so I visited him alone. I walked into his room with a cold expression and shut the door behind me, then stared at him. I saw that familiar anger build up, his face reddening as he yelled, louder than I've ever heard him yell. He accused me of ruining his life, of destroying his future. Blah, blah, blah. And midway through his tirade, I smiled. Once he was done, I said just one sentence. "No one will ever believe you, and you'll never see me or Ellie again." And I left. I heard him yell more as I walked away, but I didn't care. The tests they ran on him when he was admitted showed a high level of alcohol in his blood, so anything he says would most likely be taken as drunk talk. How neat. I went home and took Ellie, as well as all our stuff, and whatever money I could find, I booked us a small room at a motel near the diner I work at, which will serve as our temporary home. That night, Ellie and I finally were able to sleep in peace, and for the first time, we enjoyed the silence.